Hello and welcome to St Julian's Primary School National Test Support video. Here we're going to look at the 2013 Year 5 Procedural test. Okay, so question 1, 3 number cards. We have 5, 4 and 7. Use all 3 to make the smallest number possible. Okay, we want to make the smallest number possible, so that means our hundreds has to be the smallest number that we have. As you can see, if we use the number 4 in our hundreds column, that's going to make the smallest number. The next smallest number needs to go into our tens. The next smallest number is 5, so that's going to go into our tens, and then we are left with the largest number going into the units, the 7. So the smallest number that we can possibly make with those digit cards is 457. Use all 3 to make the largest odd number possible. Okay, to make an odd number, we have to know that a number ending with a 1, 3, 5, 7 or 9 needs to go in the units column. So we can put the 5 or the 7 in our units box here. We want the bigger numbers this time to be in the hundreds or the tens column. So I'm going to place the 5 into the units. That makes it an odd number. I'm then left with 4 and 7. I want the largest number possible, so I'm going to use 7 in my hundreds column, and that leaves me with 4 in the tens. So the largest odd number that I can possibly make is 745. Question 2. 1000 take away something equals 600. I'm just going to show you how I can make this a little bit easier. 10 take away something equals 6. I know that 10 take away 6 equals 4. That means that 10 take away 4 equals 6. If I were to do 1000 take away 600, the answer would be 400. Therefore, if I did 1000 take away 400, the answer must be 600. Therefore, 1000 take away 400 equals 600. The answer is 400. Question 3. We can see we've got a bar graph here. Money collected for charity. Up the side we can see we have the amount in pounds going up in tens. We have the names along the bottom: David, Anne, Joe and Ben. How much money has Anne collected? So here is Anne. Let's have a look at her bar. If we go across, we can see it comes in between 30 and 40. I know that 35 comes between 30 and 40, so Anne has collected £35. Ben wants to collect £125. How much more does he need? If we have a look at Ben, we need to know how much that he's collected already. So we can see he's collected £40. So we need to find the difference between 125 and 40. If we do a vertical subtraction on the side to find the difference, 125 take away 40. Starting with the units, 5 take away 0 is 5. Moving on to the tens, 2 take away 4 we can't do, so we're going to go next door, we're going to cross out that 1 and put a 0, and we're going to put the 1 there instead. So now we have 12 take away 4, which is 8. And looking at the hundreds, we have nothing here to subtract, so the answer is £85. We just look at it using a number line as well, just to confirm. We will start with £40 that Ben has. We need to get up to £125. So I'm going to do a jump from 40 up to 100. I know that's 60. We're then going to jump from 100 to 125. That is 25. I'm then going to add 60 and 25, which again gives me 85. So Ben needs £85 more to get to his target. Question 4. What number is the arrow pointing to? Okay, on our number line we can see we have 300 and 400. We need to work out what each of these lines is worth. If I go to the halfway point, I know that halfway between 300 and 400 is 350. That makes it easier to see that each one of these lines is going to be worth 10. 310, 320, 330, 340, 350, 360, 370, 380, 390, 400. So the arrow is pointing to 320. Question 5. Leon buys 3 DVDs. He pays with a £20 note. How much change does he get? If we have a look at the information, we can see DVDs are £3.50 each. We first of all need to work out how much 3 DVDs is going to cost. So £3.50, add £3.50, add £3.50 equals. First thing I'm going to do is put my decimal point in there. So starting over on the right, we are going to add the zeros, which gives us 0. We're then going to add 5 plus 5 plus 5, which is 15. The 5 goes here and we carry over the 1, so we can still see we have 15 here. We're then going to add this column. 3 plus 3 plus 3 is 9, plus the 1 down here gives us 10. So 3 DVDs are going to cost us £10.50. We're going to see then how much change we get from our £20 note. To work out the change, I'm going to draw a number line. I'm going to start with £10.50. I know that a jump of 50 pence takes me to £11. I'm then going to jump along until I get to £20. I can either do 9 little jumps to get me to £20, or I can do one big jump of £9 and I get to 20. I then need to add up the money at the top, so 9 add 50 gives me £9.50. So I'm going to have £9.50 change from my £20 note. Question 6. 326 add 295 equals. I'm going to do a vertical addition. 326 add 295. I'm going to start by adding the units on the right. 6 add 5 is 11. I'm going to put the 1 here. I'm going to carry over the other one. You can see the 11 here. I'm next going to add the numbers in my tens column. So I have 2 plus 9, which is 11. Add on the 1 here is 12. I'm going to put my 2 here. I'm going to carry over the 1. Finally, I'm going to add up this column here. 3 plus 2 plus 1 gives me 6. So the answer is 621. The next part of the question is asking 471 take away 208. Again, I can do a vertical subtraction to work out the answer. 471 take away 208. Okay, starting with the units, 1 take away 8. We can't do that, so we're going to go next door. We're going to cross the 7 out and put a 6, and we're going to put the 1 here. We now have 11 take away 8, which is 3. Looking at the tens column, we've got 6 take away 0, which leaves us with 6. And in the hundreds column, 4 take away 2, which it gives us 2. So the answer is 263. Question 7. 5 times something, take away 3 equals 27. Okay, the fact that we've got 3 calculations to do makes this calculation a little bit trickier. If I were to cancel out the minus 3 and add that on here, minus 3 plus the 27 would take me to 30. So 5 times something equals 30. 5 times 6 is 30. 5 times 6 is 30. Take away 3 gives me 27. The next part of the question is 3 multiplied by something, add 3 equals 27. Again, the first part of the calculation would be quite easy because it's then got an extra step here. It makes it a little bit trickier to work out. So if I get rid of that plus 3 by doing 27 take away 3, which would be 24, I can then work out 3 times something is 24. I know that 3 times 8 is 24. 3 times 8 is 24. Add on the 3 gives me 27. Question 8. 5 multiplied by 129. If I draw a quick multiplication grid and place the 5 here, I'm then going to partition the 129. So I have 100 here, 20 here, and 9 here. I'm then going to multiply 5 and 100 together. 5 times 100 is 500. I'm then going to work out the answer that goes in this box here. 5 multiplied by 20. I know that 2 5s are 10. That means 25s are going to be 10 times bigger than that. They're going to be 100. Finally, 5 multiplied by 9 is 45. I then have to add up these blue numbers to get my answer. If I do a vertical addition, 500 plus 100 plus 45 equals, so I'm going to start with my units. 0 add 0 add 5 equals 5. I'm then going to add my tens. 0 add 0 add 4 is 4. I can then add my hundreds. 5 plus 1 is 6. So the answer is 645. Another way of working this out is to do the compact method of multiplication. 129 multiplied by 5. 9 times 5 is 45, so we're going to put the 5 here and carry the 4 over. 2 times 5 is 10. We've got to remember to add on the 4 here, so that's going to be 14. The 4 goes here, we carry over the 1. 1 times 5 is 5, add on the 1 here is 6. Again, the answer is 645. Question 9. 400 grams of peas cost 48p. How much is this for each 100 grams? If we just write down that 400 grams of peas cost 48 pence. If we then halve 400 grams, we can calculate the price for 200 grams of peas. We've halved the 400, so let's halve 48 pence. Half of 40 is 20, half of 8 is 4. Let's add those together. 24 pence for 200 grams. Let's halve the 200. We now have 100 grams. We then have to halve the 24 pence. Half of 20 is 10. Half of 4 is 2. Let's add those together. We have 12 pence. So 100 grams of peas costs 12 pence. Question 10. Write in order. So here we have some numbers that we're going to order from from the smallest to the largest. The numbers we have are 2.7, 2.07, 2.71 and 2.2. The first thing I notice is some of them are one place decimals and some of them are two place decimals. What I'm going to do, I'm going to convert the one place decimals so they all look the same. If I do that above, we have 2.70, that one stays the same, 2.07, 2.71 and 2.20. We then have to work out which is the smallest decimal. As you can see, they all have 2 units. So we're then going to look at the tenths. Here we have 7 tenths, 0 tenths, 7 tenths and 2 tenths. This number here is the smallest because it has no tenths. 2.07. I'm going to cross that number out to rule it out. We're then going to look at the remaining numbers. Again, we have 7 tenths, 7 tenths and 2 tenths. So this tells me that this number here is the next smallest. I'm going to write it down as it appears up above, which is 2.2. I'm going to cross that one out. I can then decide which is the next smallest number. You can see both of these numbers have 7 tenths. So then I'm going to look at the hundredths. 0, hundredths, 1 hundredths. I can see from that 2.7 is the next smallest number. I'm going to write that as it appears in the question. Finally, 2.71 is the largest number. Question 11. 324 divided by 6 equals. There are different ways we can work this calculation out. We're going to start by having a go using the number line. So we're going to start with 0 and we're going to see how many 6's there are in 324. I know that 10 lots of 6 takes me to 60. I'm going to write there 10 so I know that that's 10 jumps of 6. Another 10 jumps of 6 takes me to 120. Another 10 jumps of 6 takes me to 180. Another 10 jumps of 6 takes me to 240. Another 10 jumps of 6 takes me to 300. I'm then going to jump along in 6's. One jump of 6 takes me to 306. Another one jump takes me to 312. Another one jump takes me to 318. And another one jump takes me to 324. If I have a look at how many jumps I've actually had to make and add those up, we'll do 10, add 10 is 20, add another 10 is 30, add another 10 is 40, add another 10 is 50, 51, 52, 53, 54. 324 divided by 6 equals 54. Write a number sentence to check your answer. The inverse of division is multiplication. So if I take the 54 and the 6 and multiply those together, 54 times 6, then the answer should be 324. We can carry out a compact multiplication just to check that. 4 times 6 is 24. I'm going to put the 4 here and I'm going to carry over the 2. 5 times 6 is 30. Adding on the 2, 32. So I can see that my compact multiplication there shows me that the division at the top, 324 divided by 6 equals 54, is correct. Question 12 is a train timetable. Got Swansea, Neath, Port Talbot, Bridgend and Cardiff. The question is, the 6:10 train from Neath gets to Bridgend at... If we have a look at Neath, we can find the 6:10 train and we're hoping to get to Bridgend by 6:30. 6:30. Jen lives in Swansea. She must be in Cardiff before 8 o'clock. What time is the latest train she can get from Swansea? So Jen lives in Swansea. These are the trains that she could possibly get. She has to be in Cardiff before 8 o'clock. If we have a look at the 5:58 train from Swansea, we can see it gets into Cardiff at 6:55. So that's a possibility that she could catch that train as it gets to Cardiff before 8 o'clock. If she catches the 6:28 train from Swansea, it gets to Cardiff at 7:25. Again, that's before 8 o'clock, so that's a possible train that she could catch. The 6:58 from Swansea gets to Cardiff at 7:55. Again, that is before 8 o'clock, so it's possible she could catch that train. And the final train leaving from Swansea is the 7:28. That doesn't get to Cardiff before 8 o'clock, it gets in at 8:25. So that one is not possible. If she wants to get into Cardiff before 8 o'clock on the latest train possible from Swansea, then she needs to catch the 6:58 from Swansea, which gets to Cardiff just before 8 o'clock at 7:55. So we write here 06:58. Question 13. 1/4 metre equals how many centimetres? If we start off by knowing that 1 metre is 100 centimetres, half a metre is then going to be 50 centimetres. So a 1/4 of a metre is half of 50, 25 centimetres. Question 14. The film starts at 14:25. It lasts for 1 hour 45 minutes. What time does it end? If we draw a number line and we put 14:25 at the start, we're then going to jump along 1 hour 45 minutes to find out what time it ends. First jump I'm going to make is 1 hour. 14:25 plus 1 hour gives us 15:25. I'm then going to jump along the 45 minutes. I'm going to do this in jumps of 5. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. 15:25 add 5 is 15:30, add 5 is 15:35, 15:40, 15:45, 15:50, 15:55, 1600 hours, 16:05, 16:10. So the film finishes at 16:10. Question 15. Ella plays 70 computer games. She wins 5/7 of the games. How many games does Ella win? The first thing we need to do is to work out what 1/7 of 70 is. So how many 7s are there in 70? If I draw a number line, starting on 0, we're going to jump along in 7s until we get to 70. 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 56, 63, 70. So if we count the jumps, we'll work out how many sevens there are in 70. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 1/7 of 70 is 10. The question's asking us what 5/7 of 70 are. So we're going to simply multiply 10 and 5 to get the answer. 10 times 5 equals 50. So Ella wins 50 of the games. Question 16. Heights of mountains. Everest, 8,848 metres. Snowdon, 1,085 metres. Round heights to the nearest 100 metres. So we're going to round 8,848 to the nearest 100. The first thing we've got to do is work out which hundreds it lies between. So if we have a look at the number 8,848, it's going to come between 8,800 or 8,900. If we look at the digit to the right of the hundreds, which is the 4, we know that if a number is 1, 2, 3, 4, we round down. If a number is 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9, we round up. Here, the tenths is the number 4, so we're going to round it down. So we're going to round it down to 8,800. If we have a look at 1,085, we've got to again work out which hundreds it comes between. So it comes between 1,000, because there are no hundreds there, or it comes between 1,100. Again, if we look at the number to the right of the hundreds, we have an 8. Remembering that 1, 2, 3, 4 we round down, 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9 we round up. Because we have an 8, we're going to round it up to the nearest 100, which is 1,100. The next part of the question asks us to estimate how much higher Everest is than Snowdon. So we're going to use the rounded figures, 8,800 and 1,100 to estimate how much higher Everest is than Snowdon. To find the difference, we're going to do a taken away calculation. 8,800, which is Everest's rounded height, take away 1,100 equals, so 0 take away 0 gives us 0. Looking at the 10, 0 take away 0 is 0. 8 take away 1 is 7. And 8,000 take away 1,000 is 7. So Everest is 7,700 metres higher than Snowdon. Question 17. Write 1/10 as a decimal. If I just draw a number line at the bottom, put in 0 here and 1 here, we can just use this to show what a tenth actually is. Halfway along we would have 5/10, and then we can work out the other calibrations from here. So we've got 6, 7, 8, 9, 6/10, 7/10, 8/10, 9/10, 1 whole. And on this end we're going to work up backwards 4, 3, 2, 1. So we're going to have 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, and 4/10. So as you can see, our fraction line now goes from 0 all the way along to 1 whole. If we match up the equivalents in decimals, we start in the middle. Half of 1 is 0.5, and then along the number line we would have 1/10, 0.1, 2/10, 0.2, 3/10, 0.3, 4/10, 0.4, 6/10, 0.6, 7/10, 0.7, 8/10, 0.8, 9/10, 0.9, and 1. So as you can see from our number line, if we were to write 1/10 as a decimal, we would write it as 0.1. The next part of the question is write 0.75 as a fraction. If we just go back to our number line, if we have a little look at 0.55 we know another way of writing this is 1/2, because 1/2 of 1 will be labelled there. We already know that half of a half is a quarter, so half of 0.5 is 0.25, and that's actually written as 1/4. We can also label 3/4 on our number line 0.75, and that is written as 3/4. So 0.75 as a fraction can be written as 3/4. Question 18. Changing between kilometres and miles. Okay, so we've got a conversion graph here converting miles and kilometres. The graph shows that 40 kilometres is about something miles. We have a look on our graph at the kilometres down here. We can find 40 kilometres. If we go up to the line and across, it will tell us how many miles. I'm just going to draw a line from 40 up to the blue line. I'm then going to go across. I can see that 40 kilometres is 25 miles. 22.5 miles is about something kilometres, so this time I'm going to look at the miles. I'm going to find 22.5, which I know comes somewhere in between 20 and 25. It comes halfway in between. Again, I'm going to draw a line from 22.5 miles across to the blue line. I'm then going to go straight down. Okay, so I can see it comes between 32 and 40, just over the halfway mark there. Halfway between 32 and 40 would be 36. I'm going to say it's just over that, so 37 kilometres. The next part of the question is, the graph shows that 10 miles is about 16 kilometres. 10 miles is about 16 kilometres. This means that 100 miles is about something kilometres. If we have a little look here at the links, I can see that 100 miles is 10 times bigger than 10 miles. That means I have to make 16 kilometres 10 times bigger. 16 times 10 equals 160. So 100 miles is about 160 kilometres. Question 19. Daytime temperature 12 degrees Celsius, nighttime temperature -3 degrees Celsius. The question's asking us the difference between 12 degrees and -3. When we calculate the difference between two things, we do a taken away calculation. So 12 take away -3 equals 12 take away -3 is 15. So the temperature difference is 15 degrees Celsius. Some children find it hard working with negative numbers, so I'd recommend drawing a number line. If we put 0 here and 10 degrees here, 11 degrees and 12 degrees Celsius. 5 would be about here. 6, 7, 8, 9. 6, 7, 8, 9. 4, 3, 2, 1. Then we're going to have our minus numbers here, -1, -2, -3. Okay, so the difference between 12 and -3, we can just literally count the difference. So we have 1 degree, 2 degrees, 3 degrees, 4 degrees, 5 degrees, 6 degrees, 7 degrees, 8 degrees, 9 degrees, 10, 11 degrees, 12 degrees, 13 degrees, 14 degrees, 15 degrees. Again, we come to the same answer. Question 20, 2.47 multiplied by 100 equals. I'm going to draw a really quick place value grid at the bottom. So we've got hundreds, tens, units, decimals, tenths, hundredths. I'm just going to put the decimal back in here. So we've got 2.47. When we multiply a number by 100, each digit moves 2 places to the left. So the 2 is going to move 2 places to the left. It's going to go here. The tenths are going to go 2 places to the left. So the 4 is going to go here. And the hundredths, that's going to go 2 places to the left. So it's going to go here. So the answer is 2.47 multiplied by 100 is 247. The next question is 32.6 divided by 10. I'm just going to put 32.6 into the grid. When we divide by 10, each number moves 1 place to the right. So the 6 is going to go into the hundredths. The 2 is going to go into the tenths. And the 3 is going to go into the units. Remember to put that decimal in. So 32.6 divided by 10 is 3.26. Question 21. 6 kilograms of potato for £11.94. How much for 2 kilograms? To be able to work this out, we need to work out what 1 kilograms of potato is going to cost us. To be able to do this, we need to divide £11.94 by 6 kilograms. We can use the chunking method to do this. If we start on 0, we need to work out how many 6's there are in 1194. I know that 6 multiplied by 100 takes me to 600. I'm going to write 100 in there. I know that 6 times 50 then must be 300, so that would take me up to 900. I'm then going to take out some chunks of 10. So 10 6's are 60, so that's going to be 960. I'm going to take out another chunk of 60. So 10 times 6 is 60. So that takes me to 1020. If we take out another chunk of 60, 1080. Another chunk of 60 takes us to 1140. 10 up. I'm just going to carry on my number line down here, because if we take out another chunk, we're on 1140. If I were to take another chunk of 68, it would actually take me to 1200, which is more than our 1194 up here. So I need to take out a smaller chunk this time. I'm going to take out a chunk of 5, so that's 30. 5 times 6 is 30. 1140 plus 30 is 1170. I'm then going to take out just single chunks of 6. So one chunk of 6 was 1176. Another chunk of 6 would be 1182. Another chunk of 6 is 1188. And another chunk of 6 is going to take me to 1194, which is the same as £11.94. If I add up all of these chunks at the top, I will find out what 1 kilogram of potato is worth. So 100 plus 50 is 150, 160, 170, 180, 190, 195, 196, 197, 198, 199. So 1 kilogram of potatoes is 199 pence, or £1.99. The question's asking how much for 2 kilograms, so I need to multiply that by 2. So £1.99 add £1.99. Here we go, let's add the units together. 9 plus 9 is 18. I'm going to put the 8 here and carry the 1 over. Again, we have 9 plus 9 is 18. Add on the 1 here is 19. And then 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. So 2 kilograms of potatoes is going to cost £3.98.